How's it going, ScrubGamers? Welcome back to another video by me, ScrubGames, and once again we got another deck profile, and as you'll see it's of the Boujack deck. So as you remember, I've been a big fan of trying out the Boujack stuff when we got the new blue stuff, and I like that more that it's gave a way to support the old yellow stuff and actually make it viable, because it was really interesting when it came out, but it was never really good because the leader did nothing on Awakening. But now, over the time, since then, we've got support to help it make it a bit better. And now I feel it's in a pretty good spot where you can actually take it to a tournament and actually do all of it. And it would be one of my choices to play for locals and even a big event. So today, what I'm going to do is go over my list. And first of all, I do want to say, give a shout out to DBS Deck Planet, the best deck building website in the game for Dragon Ball Super. It's so easy to use the site and always updated, given new features thanks to its fantastic creator and the team. So without further ado, we're going to the leader. So if you don't know what the Boujack leader does, it's got a effect on both sides where when you play a Boujack's Brigade card, you draw a card, and on the front side it gains 5k, but then on the back side it's just draw a card anytime you play one. So it means it doesn't have to attack the draw cards, you just have to play basically the Boujack Brigade cards, which is quite easy and is nice. It triggers on both players' turn, so you can potentially draw once every turn both your opponent's turns. So drawing 2 cards between your turns is quite nice. And what it also has is another auto where when you combo with a card, if in your combo there's at least two Boujack Brigade cards that were comboed from your battle area, you can choose one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode and KO it. So it's a nice bit of removal if it comes up, which sometimes it does. So it's just a nice additional effect to give a bit of removal for the lead. And then the only differences between those effects that are on both sides of the leader is the Awaken on the front, which is just when you ask for 4 less, flip over. You're rarely ever going to use this because there's a card in this, as we're going to see, that helps you actually flip over earlier than get the 4 and actually gets you a benefit. Whereas this, if you do wait for, it's just flipping over, no draw, no untap, no nothing. And then on the back side, it now has a permanent where you can combo with Boujack Brigade cards in rest mode, which is really nice. It just means that if you've got like some weenie ones, you can swing with those to just try and put attack in, and then they're also combo fodder, like combo power for other attacks, which is really nice. So the first thing we're going to do is, as you've probably seen before, it's a yellow deck, but also the Boujack stuff goes in the blue. So this is a blue-yellow deck, and with the first important card of the blue-yellow stuff for Boujack is Violent Rust Boujack. So if you're not aware, this is a 1-cost arrival, so it's a 7-cost 20k with arrival blue-yellow for 1 yellow, and it's also got Aegis, which if you didn't know, it's the keyword skill associated solely for blue-yellow, where during your defensive combo step, you can discard either a blue card and a yellow card, or a card that's both blue-yellow, to then untap 2 energy. So it gives you more energy on your opponent's turn to make plays and stuff. So it means you can tap out and then have this to give you more energy back. And even though you would discard a card and lose a card for doing that, Boujack makes it so you don't lose anything, because it's also when you use its Aegis, you draw a card. So this is a really nice card, and one of the ways you're going to basically play a Boujack Brigade on your opponent's turn to then get that draw, and also keep up your play enough energy to be able to do stuff on your opponent's turn. So giving you more energy than you should on your opponent's turn. And then also to go with that is the new Boujack from the expansion, which gives you access to do a lot of things really. So it's a 4-cost 20k blue-yellow card with a 1-cost 5k combo, and it plays a lot. It's got energy skills like every single multicolor has. And and also just to mention, the 7-drop Boujack has barrier, meaning so it's harder to remove, and means that it is easier to keep it on board to help deal with your Aegis. But this one's got a permanent where if you have a Boujack Brigade card in your energy area, you can reduce the combo cost of this card by 1 and negate its energy skill in all areas. So this is extremely handy because it allows you to charge multicolor in this deck without ever having to have it come in rest mode. So if you play the deck properly, you can never need to have an energy like be charged tapped, but still have your multicolor ones, which is not it's not something any other color combination does. Like there are some multicolor cards in other colors where they have their energy cost negated for the turn, but they require prior setup, like the ones from the Divine Multiverse, the Draft Box 5. They require you to have 2 cards in the drop, one of each color for that color combination, to warp to be able to play it with negating its energy exhaust skill. Whatever ones that require you to have in your energy a multicolor already, which if you've got multicolor already in your energy, apart from this one, it's been coming tapped and you've lost an energy over your turns. Whereas this means you could turn 1, you can charge any Boujack Brigade that isn't itself for a multicolor. The next turn you can charge this, and then turn 1 you had 1 energy open to use. Turn 2 you still have 2 energy open to use, and one of them's multicolor, which is really, really handy. And also be an extra combo fodder to help a rival in Boujack is very handy. Now it also has a Never Alter skill where when this card is played, when you activate the Evolve skill on a Boujack card in your hand, this turn it gets reduced by 1 for that Evolve skill. So as you'll see, we have to have a Boujack card that can evolve, and it is nice having it that if you play this, you get the Evolve skill reduced by 1, which is quite handy. And you can play this for only 1 energy using Activate Battle, where for either 1 blue or 1 yellow energy. If there are 2 or more blue and or yellow cards in your combo area, you can play this card from your hand and choose all other blue and yellow Boujack Brigade cards in your battle area, and you get 5k power for the turn. So this is like a nice one of the good things about Fearless Pan was giving all your board 5k, which is really nice. You can do that for it. So you can turn your Violent Rust Boujack into 5k, or if you swarm with this and other Boujack cards, give them all extra 5k boost, and then be able to swing with this and then combo off at 5k while it's in rest mode is really handy. So this card brings a lot of utility to the deck, and it's one of the best additions we've had for this deck in a long time. And then what are some other multicolor cards we have? The first one we have is Zamasu. So we go for this super combo because it's one of the best multicolor super combos. Being able to tap down your opponent's leader if they don't attack with it, and then not if the opponent attacks you, but with anything but the leader, and if they swing with anything before attacking the leader, you can combo this, tap the leader down, and then you have a rival fodder because it meets the conditions to rival in the Boujack. And we don't really need to draw with this deck, where you can draw the draw power you would normally get from some super combos like the set 11 ones, because of the fact the leader can draw without attacking on both players' turns. And then the last multicolor card we have is probably the best card in the game at the moment, which is Zamasu the Limiter, being a extremely strong counterplay that does so much for very little. So if you don't know what it is, it has Indestructible as well as Energy Exhaust, like all of them do. It's a 2 cost 5k, and its counterplay skill is you play this card from your hand, and if the card being played, if the card, not battle card, unison card, just card being played has an energy cost of 4 or less, you've turned to his owner's hand instead. So this is really strong and makes it so you stop something coming into play for you pay less than what they pay to get rid of something. So if your opponent's playing something that's a 4 cost that doesn't have deflect, or unison that's 4 cost, and you pay 2, you've essentially made them waste 4 energy while you only pay 2, which is extremely powerful. And then it's permanent to give you extra easy charging without having to worry about anything coming in tapped. Is if you have a never blue, yellow, multicolor in your energy, you can negate this card's energy exhaust skill in all areas. You're not really going to use it for that. You're either going to use this card for Aegis or actually playing it. So you never need to worry about that. That's an extremely good effect on the card. And then another skill it's got, which is also really strong, is that when this card is played, you draw 1 card, essentially replacing itself in your hand. Then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and switch to rest mode. So this means that if your opponent does play something as deflect, but it doesn't have barrier, you can still counterplay this on the play of that card, and then it tap it down. So if it doesn't have, if a card has deflect but not barrier, and it's coming down, you can then rest it before it can even attack or do anything, unless it's got an all-on play also. So this card does a lot of effects, a lot of things for very little cost, and is a reason why one of the top decks is Higher Dragon being a blue-yellow deck. But that is it for the multicolour cards. For the rest of the deck, we've got the Boujack Brigade. So we've got a lot of Boujack Brigades, so we can make sure we get the draw from the leader every turn. And the first one is the one that helps at Awaken, which is Boujack Galactic Disruptor. So this is something we got as a support in the, I think, last year's Anniversary Box 2020. And it's got two effects, both activate mains. The first one is if you have 2 or more Boujack Brigade cards in play in your battle area, you can play this card from your hand, and you can't play copies of this card for a turn. So this is really nice to help trigger for Evolve, meaning that if you don't have a target to evolve on to a site, which I'll see in a bit, this can easily for free come down, and you have your evolve target, and then triggers and can easily, if you want to, you can just play as a 15k swing and then have it combo off if you're on your Awaken side, and also just to get your draw from leader if you're not playing a Boujack that turn. And in its other effect, which is how we Awaken most of the time in this deck, is if your leader card is a yellow Boujack card on its front side and you have 2 or more energy, so turn 2 you're normally going to trigger this, and you discard this card from your hand, you flip your leader card to its back side and then draw 2 cards. So this is a way to give your leader sort of a, well, let's say draw 1 Awakening, because even though you're drawing 2, you're still discarding this card, so you're only plussing 1. And it's a nice way to get your leader awakened as early as turn 2 and not having to worry about your life total. And then another Boujack card we got is another free cost to help as one of the evolve targets, and that is Boujack Pirate's Pride. So as I mentioned, in this deck normally you want to turn 2 charge a yellow Boujack Brigade, and then turn 2 charge the Boujack Pinpoint Onslaught, so you have your multicolour energy set up. So that means this card is live turn 1 to come in as a 1-drop negate, and the reason for that is from its skills. So it's a free cost of 10k, counter attack, negate this card and play this card, or negate the attack and play this card, and it's permanent, makes it a 1 cost by which during your opponent's turn, if there is a card that is both blue and yellow in your energy, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 2, so it becomes a 1 cost negate as soon as you charge the Boujack on turn 2. And then it's got kind of nice also where when this card's played, your opponent may place the top card of the deck in your drop area, so you get a bit of disruption, not deck wise, so you can lose a card that could be important. But it's just more that from turn 2, as long as you charge your Boujack turn 2, as I said, this is a life for a 1 cost negate that then is a evolve target. And then the card we're going to evolve onto these free costs is Boujack the Plunderer. So this is a very, very scary SR Boujack that when it first came out, people were worried about, but it didn't do much because the archetype was under supported, and it is until now that it's been quite a strong and possibly a competitive choice for the meta. And just to go over it, just in case you don't remember or were playing around when it came out, it's an 8 cost 25k yellow SR that has an evolve skill where for 3 yellow and 1 of any other colour, you can evolve it on top of a Boujack that is energy cost of 3. So the targets for this would be Boujack, these 2 Boujacks we've just seen, and there's another target in the deck we'll see. It's got 2 autos in activate main. The first auto is when you play this card, if you have 5 or more life, you choose all your opponent's cards and switch to rest mode. And note that just says cards, so that means your leader card, opponent's leader card, unison card, and energy, battle cards, everything, all cards they have on the board get rested. And it's going to be very easy to awaken with 5 or more life, because your Boujack Galactic Disruptor just flips itself over, and puts you on your Awaken side, so you don't have to worry about that. And then where you're drawing cards from playing Boujacks on your opponent's and your turn and getting draws from that, you're going to be very, very defensive getting to turn 4. And his other auto, which is what makes it very scary, is when your opponent switches one of their cards from rest mode to active mode, if your leader card is a Boujack Brigade card and your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand and sets it to his owner's warp. So that means, and if your opponent would untap anything from like your opponent's their Awakening by using things like Bean, or just during their charge phase, when they start the turn and restand everything, they're going to warp a card for every card that gets put from rest mode to active mode. And so that in combination with the first auto means when it comes down, you're going to be tapping all the stuff, and when they start their turn, they're going to warp most of their hand because of this. And its activate main is a once per turn, where you choose one Boujack Brigade card in your battle area and place it in its own drop area. This card gains dual attack for the turn. And it's very easy, just put one on there because you've got one drops that you can play to trigger this, or even the Boujack Galactic Disruptor. If you haven't played one by its activate main this turn, you'll mostly always have before you play that the Violent Rust Boujack on board. So you have two Bojacks on board. You can free play this, swing with it for 15k, then sack it off for the Boujack Plunderer to give that card dual attack. It's a very good utility, and we play 4 of it because we want to see it by turn 4 to drop it. And if you draw too many of them, you can always charge it. And then one of the other Boujack Brigades that isn't Boujack, because as you've seen, most of the Boujack Brigade cards we've seen so far are just Boujack himself. First one we have is Spacebar Zangia. So this is one to help filter out, and it's played off the extra card, which we'll see in a bit. So it's got the first thing you have is it's a 2 cost 3k, which means it's never going to attack or do any damage. It's more utility, and it's got a permanent, which we'll see on other Boujack Brigade cards, which is permanent, which is essentially what unique was before it became a keyword skill in the game. But the good effect about this is its auto, where when you play this card, if your leader card is a Boujack Brigade card, you choose up to one Boujack Brigade from your deck with energy cost of 1 and play it, then shuffle your deck. So it's really nice when you use off the extra card we're going to see to set up your arrival fodder if you don't want to use your wasted super combo, or just bring out 1-drops from your deck to get that searching and filtering. And then another handy skill that comes up, which it has, is its activate main, where you place this card in its inner drop area. You choose up to one Boujack card in your battle area and give it crit for the duration of the turn. So that means you can give your Violent Rust Boujack crit just to have it swing, or any of them. Well, either your Violent Rush, your Pinport Onslaught, or your Plunderer can get critical. And we play it at 3 because you only want to play off the extra card, and if you draw it in your hand, you're just going to be charging it or combo with it. Next, we have one of the two targets we normally get bring out of it, and they're both Betos. The first one is Spacebarbutto, the old yellow 1-drop from the same set this stuff came out, which was set 6. Once again, it has the permanent, which is basically unique, and it has its main effect is its auto, where when this card is played, if your leader card is a Boujack Brigade card, you look up the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to any one Boujack Brigade card among them, add to your hand, and then you shuffle your deck. So this is really handy that it's for any Boujack card, and so mainly what you want to start in your hand is you want Galactic Disruptor in your hand, you want Boujack Pinpoint Onslaught, and Violent Rust Boujack, because you want the charge anything turn 1 as a Boujack Brigade card that isn't a multicolor one, so you can have it ready for Onslaught to be charged turn 2 to come in untapped. And then you want to be able to rival Boujack, Violent Rust Boujack on turn 2 to get that sorted on board. And then you want Boujack Galactic Disruptor there to Awaken turn 2. So you want each of those in your hand by turn 2. And this card allows you to help search the top card, try and grab it if you don't already have it. And it's just nice that it searches any Boujack Brigade, which is makes it search for almost, I think, 80% or 70% of the deck, which is really handy. And it also provides you a way to knock deck out if it goes to the long game, and that is why it's permanent, where you place this card in its own drop area, then choose 5 Boujack Brigade cards in your with 2 costs or less in your drop area, shuffle them into your deck. So that's going to be one of each. There's a lot of targets. There's Zangia, Beto, and there's the other Beto, which is Beto the Cruel. Now this is the blue one, so one of the few blue cards we're going to have for the Boujack Brigade in the deck. And it's a 1, just like the other Beto, it's a 1 cost, but it's a 4k instead of 3k. So and this one can actually do damage. So it's useful with its auto, where it's just a cantrip. When it's played, you draw 1. And then its activate battle, which could put in a bit of use and helps with unisons a little bit. Is it's once per turn for 1 energy. When this card gains 11k power and double strike until the start of your next main phase. And it's activate battle as well. So it's nice for swinging, paying 1 energy, get an 11k double strike to get rid of markers off unisons. And the nice thing about that is it's still then a 15k on that attack for the rest of your turn and for your opponent's turn as well. So it won't just go back on a 4k and be easy to kill. And this is along with Zangia. If you bring it out from the extra card using Zangia to bring out this, you then have, and you're on your make sure you're on your leader's backside. You then have combo fodder to arrival in Plunderer's Boujack. And then we have the ever blue Boujack Brigade card we have in the deck, which is Boujack, Rampage, and Agent Destruction. This is just handy for being a never Boujack evolve target, because it's a free cost, and another way to play Bojacks on your opponent's turn to get the draw, because it's got a auto of 1 energy. If your leader card is a Boujack Brigade card or has Agent Destruction in its card name, at the end of a battle in which this card is played, which is combo with from your hand or energy, you may place this card from your warp area in your drop battle area from your in rest mode. So it's like one of those combo on the play cards for Boujack. And it's also got some ever useful effects. Everyone is an auto where if it's KO'd it draws one. It's really nice. And then a permanent which helps against decks that play high costing things quite early for low energy, which is when this card is in rest mode, if your opponent can attack your leader with battle cards that have energy costs greater than or equal to their current energy. So it gives your leader like a little it gives your deck like a little deadly defender against things like Aggro and stuff. So that is it for all the Boujack Brigade cards and multicolours. Next we've gone for some utility cards. So we have 3 of them. First one being Brigamo Ferocious Roar. So this is only placed as a one-off because unfortunately it is limited to 1. Well, I say unfortunately, very rightly so limited to 1 because it's such a strong card. But unfortunately, because if you're playing yellow, you're gonna want you would have wanted more of these if you could. And it's a really handy card because it's a 5 cost 20k, but you're not going to be paying that for it. You're going to be mainly paying for 2 off this auto, where for 1 yellow and 1 of any other colour, when one of your opponent's cards is switched to rest mode, by one of your skills, play this card from your hand. And when you do that, you trigger this other auto, where if your leader card is yellow or a Universe 9 card, when you play this card, choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards and or energy, ignoring barrier, and switch to the rest mode. So really nice in this deck, combined with the super combo, one of the extra cards we're going to see, where you can play it, rest two cards with battle energy, and just hinder your opponent. And switching energy to rest mode just means sometimes you just cut off your opponent's turn, where they either need to use their energy beforehand, or they lose it if they swing and you manage to drop this. Then we have a secret rare choice of the deck, being Supreme Kai Space Time Unraveler. You can't really play Cell Zeno, which would be a good choice, because most of the cards you're going to be dropping are multicolor in Boujack, Violent Rush, or very low colors, or not yellow. Because if you look at it, it takes 3 cards to drop it. Because if you get a turn 4 and then drop your Boujack, the Plunderer, you're going to want to keep that for your opponent's turn, so it can drop a load of cards in your opponent's hand, or they're dying that turn. And to get that, to get an extra 4 on the board, you either need to have 2 Zangias or one of the 2 Bojacks, the 3 cost Bojacks, and a Beto, which is a lot of effort just trying to drop the cell. And if you got those on board, you're either winning or even in a better position without cell. And this is really handy because it gives the deck some nice unison removal and board removal as well, which is something yellow doesn't really have. And we're opting not to play a unison in this deck because with the Zamasu limiter being about, it's not if you go against blue yellow deck, you're not going to be playing unison until turn 5, when you have to pay 5 energy just to make sure it sticks. And then the next battle card we've got is our overall, which is just 1 Secret Identity Master. We've gone for this one over Fight Against Fates because you don't really need the pressure, and this is just really handy for it. Some board removal because you don't have to worry about their hand, because you got Boujack the Plunderer, and you're going to play the control slow game until turn 4, so you can drop it. And this just gives some nice board removal, because that's one thing the deck doesn't really deal with, is threats that are on the board, apart from with your leader's auto. And it's only and being 25k is the sweet spot ready for attacking. But that is all the battle cards. next we just have the two extra cards we play. First one is Rival the Space Barracks. So this is how you're going to be playing Zangia for 1 energy and from the deck, because you're not going to be paying 2 for Zangia. That's quite costly in this format. You're going to play it. You're not going to be playing it straight from the deck, and with this, and it's a 1 cost yellow card. Activate main. Choose it to one of your Boujack Brigade cards for entry cost of 2 or less from your deck, and play it in rest mode and shuffle your deck. And now you don't really worry if this is in rest mode when it comes out, because either you're going to be sacking off for his activate main, or you're going to be comboing in rest mode once you're on your leader's backside, using just comboing as 5k. But this is really nice, just deck fin by bringing out a card from the deck, which would be Zangia, and not bringing another card, which, even though the Zangia comes in rest mode, the Beater you're going to be playing off of it comes in active mode. And then either deck fins, you have 2 cards, with then Beato being a draw you a card, or search for a card from the top 5, and then also potentially getting you a blue and a yellow with, if you bring out Zangia, then Beato the Cruel, to then arrival with by comboing off to bring out Boujack, or either the Violent Rush or Pinpoint Onslaught. And we only play 3 because it can clog, and really you don't want to play too many per turn, because you only draw 1 from your leader every time you play it. Only once from your leader when you play Boujack Brigade. The other card that's we play for extra card is a yellow staple, being a Power of the Super Saiyan. This is really handy because is just nice utility. Is either played as a negate if you want to, or using Activate Battle, which is very strong. Which is and this Activate Battle can be played for free if you have a mono yellow energy untapped. And its Activate Battle is, if your leader card is mono yellow, you draw a card, so instantly replaces itself, just like the Zamasu limiter does. And then you choose it to one of your opponent's battle cards or using cards and switch to rest mode, and then you can activate and never copy the Activate Battle skill on copies of this card for the turn. So it's a 1 use, that's why you run a 3 instead of 4, because you can use once per turn for the Activate Battle effect, which is the best effect. And then you basically just get to, it's another way to free trigger the Bergamo, and you just get some nice resting for free without really paying any energy or losing anything from hand. And that is the entire deck. So it's a nice control deck. I feel that if it wasn't for the fact that Zamasu existed, making it better to use any other, just one yellow leader, that's the reason why Gohan Icarus, and it's the thing with yellow, where it has that issue where there's always one good, there's always the best yellow leader to use for any yellow deck, and at the moment it is the Gohan, because the effect to draw 2 in your turn, draw 2, and still make use of the blue yellow stuff. But I feel if Zamasu limiter wasn't a thing, this would, like yellow, would be a bit more varied, and Boujack could be a probable contender with this with its stuff. But I still think it is a pretty strong deck, because the blue yellow package, and also Boujack the Plunderer being easier to drop than it used to be, and still having such a powerful effect. But once again, thank you for watching, and if you watched this long, if you've watched it this long, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Liking the video lets me know you're enjoying these videos and deck profiles. Leaving a comment lets me know if you want anything, or if I got anything wrong, to correct it for a future, because I'm willing to learn and amend things for future videos. And lastly, subscribing helps the channel out, helps me out, and also keeps you updated for my videos as and when they drop. So once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.